Happy Sunday. Welcome to Holy Week. We are going to start off in a holy, holy way. I would love it if you could stand up and join me. You can clap along if you want to. I want to love in a holy, holy way. Want to love in a holy, holy way. I want to love in a holy, holy way. Want to love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me know that love can heal us all. Let me know that love can heal us all. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me live in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way. Oh, let me serve in a holy, holy way. Let me serve in a holy, holy way. Good morning, Unity. Thank you, band. Thank you, Gretchen, for getting us started in a very holy, holy way. You guys are fabulous. Welcome and good morning to all of you. We are happy, very, very happy that you are here on this beautiful day, this beautiful Palm Sunday. I am Shar Bennington, and we're blessed by your presence. Thanks for joining us. Before we get rolling, just a gentle reminder to turn your phones to meditation mode. Thank you very much. Each Sunday, we come together to celebrate our oneness with one another and with God. We welcome people of every culture, lifestyle, and creed. We honor the many paths to God, the many names for God, the many sounds of God, and the many ways in which to experience God. We are grateful for the presence of God within each and every one of us, and the expression of love, joy, and truth in our lives. Today, we join with people all around the world in sharing Unity's daily word, and today's word is I am. All that God is, I am. In the book of Exodus, Moses learns that God's true name is I am. Made in God's image and likeness, all that God is, in truth, I also am. With God as my essence, I know that I am intrinsically good. I readily express the unconditional love and forgiveness that I am in truth. Claiming infinite wisdom as my unfailing source, I am wise and compassionate in all my affairs, creative and prosperous in all my activities. I claim only the highest qualities of being for myself, so I refrain from putting words of lack or limitation after the phrase, I am. Through the Christ in me, I affirm that I am whole and perfect, a divine expression of God's glory in this world. All that God is, I am, and all is well. And from Colossians chapter 1, verse 27, Christ in you, the hope of glory. And now Reverend Heidi will lead us in an opening prayer and give us some wonderful highlights.
Thanks for your holiness, Shar. All right, so welcome to Unity in Chicago. We call this our home on Thome, and we would love for you to feel at home here in your home on Thome. We also call this our spiritual community of light, love, and laughter. So I would imagine sometime during this service, you're going to experience that light within you, the love that you are, and you're going to hear some laughter come out, or my jokes really suck. Anyway, there we go. It's a good start. All right, now you all have had some rather colorful ministers during the 25 plus years of Unity in Chicago, and so I'm going to channel Reverend Mike for a moment by saying what you all have done for a while. Happy Palm Sunday. All right, so everybody say Happy Palm Sunday to each other. All right. Very good. Stay with the palms in your section. All right, very nice. Okie dokie. All right, so let's start our time together with a connection to one's own soul. All right, so I invite you to close your outer eye and open your inner eye, and let's just breathe in to the gratitude of being part of this amazing community. The chair on which you're sitting has been selected for you, and it's been waiting for you. Your life's been waiting for you to have the triumphant entry that we're going to talk about today. This triumphant entry, the day you were born, was pretty triumphant. And your life is an opportunity to always feel triumphant, especially in the midst of tribulation. So Spirit, thank you for our resurrecting souls, for our opportunity to know that the Spirit that is within us is bigger than anything that happens to us. Life truly happens through us and not to us. So we rest into our wholeness, our holiness, as we're in a conversation in our heart about this Holy Week, this wholeness that is our life, about our triumphant entry, our journey into Jerusalem, which is the place of homecoming. So thank you, Spirit, for the absolute, perfect, and divine service and time together. And let each of us awaken something we have not seen before. Thank you, Spirit. And so it is. Amen. So again, welcome. And the best prayer, of course, is thank you. So we want to say thank you. You will receive a palm on the way out, which was what the folks were saying as Jesus was coming in, and they were laying their palm down for him to have an easy way into Jerusalem. And so it's a great representation of, if you allow it, the easy way you get to live your life. So we want to thank our palm frond cutters that came in yesterday. If you were a palm frond cutter, please rise. We'd like to thank you. Is anybody here that was? Okay, well, let's just thank them, because there was a team that came in with their gloves. Who knew, right? What's that? Oh, I thought somebody was telling you. Okay, so we also want to say thank you for the Pay What You Can sale. Did somebody pick up some treasures last week? I mean, I went down there like, I'm not going to get anything. Forget it. There's all kinds of things I had to have. So anyway, we raised over $1,500 at the Pay What You Can sale. So thank you all for doing that. We thank Marilyn Jaffe, our youth director, the parents, the YOU sponsors, the YOU, all the people that were involved. And we're going to do it again, because some of you said, I have some of those treasures. I mean, don't call them trash, but treasures at home that I'd like to pass along in the world. So we're going to do that again for our Pride Parade expenses. And so we'll be doing that in May. So don't you worry. We'll give you a date to bring your things. We do have the sheet that has all the dates for March and April, so hang on to that, take it home, and be sure you check on that, because there's all kinds of things happening that we will not have time to announce. I also wanted to, John Cavantis, our dear brother John that's been here for so many years, he had a fall a couple of weeks ago. He had surgery, and now he is recovering at Manor Care. There's a group going today at 3 p.m. If you want to head over there, there'll be a group of Unity folks. But his address and phone number is on the wings, and we'd love for you to anytime call him. He just would love to hear from anybody, and he's always in our prayers. But if you get a moment to go over and holler at him, or, well, that's so Texan. If you want to go and say hi, or if you want to just call him, just do that. Okay, he'd love to hear from you. Holy Week starts today. It's this week that's full of symbolism for your life. And it ends, of course, next week with a huge celebration of the resurrection of your soul. And we invite you all to come for our Easter extravaganza. You can wear your bonnet, male, female, whatever you want to wear. You just come. We'd love it. But prior to any resurrection, you must let go. We must remove the things that are blocking resurrection. So we are going to have a service on Good Friday, this Friday at 7 p.m. It will be a very contemplative and beautiful and sacred service. It'll be led by the chaplains and myself. Bless you. It's a great place to sneeze as a church. Yeah, bless you, bless you, bless you. Anyway, so we're going to look at the last words of Jesus, their symbolism, and Bruce Henry will be here singing along with Gretchen Goldrich. What am I messing your name? Goodrich. I'm so sorry. I've been talking to the rabbi this week and my multi-faith thing, and he's gold something. I forgot. So Goodrich, all right. No, he was a ball. Long talker guy. Great, very fun. Okay, so Peter Polzak, Gretchen Goodrich, and Bruce Henry. So do come. And then we're going to have a burning bowl. Is somebody laughing? I'm glad, because this is good. We'll be burning, you'll be releasing that wants to be released. And so resurrection will be happening. All right, so please come. Great fun. Great fun in the way of moving energy. So do come. It's a wonderful, wonderful service. And the Easter Sunday, of course, 9:30 and 11:30. If you know any youth, invite families, because we'll have an Easter egg hunt at the 9:30 service. So we are launching this wonderful shift in consciousness on April the 3rd. We are exploring the world. And, well, look at Tammy. She's got the whole world in her hands. She's got the whole world. Thank you. Now I got the whole world. Anyway, we are exploring the world of faith. We're calling this series Many Paths, One Source. We will be exploring the faiths of Islam, of Judaism, of Hinduism, Buddhism, Native American, Christianity. And so we are all sojourners on this planet, but our challenge is most of us don't understand one another. So we are so blessed to have Joe Zephyrin and Brother Joe. Yay, Joe. Let's give him a hand. Joe Zephyrin, our beloved congregant, and Brother Joe, who was here last week, the leader of the Shem Center, which is all about interfaith spirituality. They've taught this class at colleges and are going to offer this to us. So it's going to be every Sunday afternoon, an education about the faith that we will be with on Sundays. We'll have faith leaders. We're going to have a rabbi come in and a sheikh and various people come in to lead these services. It's going to be wonderful. So we'll have 8 Sundays, but then there's 8 classes on Sunday afternoons, and then there's 6 visits to the sacred places where people are worshiping that faith, and we're going to a mosque and a synagogue and a Hindu temple and Buddhist temple, and then we're going to have a sweat lodge. So and a Christian service also. So we are. So Joe will be there to sign up. You can do the whole enchilada, which is really fabulous, or you can come. The suggestion is that you at least come to 6 Sunday classes, and visit 4 sites. But we know people have their schedules, so do what you can, but do go visit Joe, and I'm so excited about this. Because if we say that we're unity people and we want peace on earth, we need to understand what's going on earth. Agree? So I am showing up for all of it. When I just wrote my check, I'm like in. Okay, I feel more evolved just by doing that. All right. So many paths, one source, and spread the word, spread the word. We also have a flyer for Palm Sunday and Easter Sunday. No, not Palm Sunday. Good Friday and Easter Sunday, and it's at Rose Table downstairs. So if you run around and you put bulletin flyers up, please take some. Okay, this is one more thing. We have Wednesdays are going to be packed, fun experiences in April. We call it Midweek at the Oasis. And we're going to have Master Co, first of all, that is very involved in pranic healing. It's a wonderful experience with Master Stephen Co on Wednesday, April the 6th at 7. All the proceeds go to Unity, tremendous prosperity consciousness. Then the next Wednesday, I'll be interviewing Sister Rosemary Connolly of Misericordia across the street. We're gonna have a dinner prior to that at 5:45, and then our two big services that we always have, Taze and Preston with the gong, are going to be so Wednesdays. Just show up, and you'll be in good shape. All right. I did want to tell you our Lenten book that's free. We still have a few left, and you have one more week left of Lent. So pick one up. They're right at the wings, and free is good. So enjoy our book. So the light of God is what is always the triumphant part of us that does triumph over tribulation, and we often don't look there when we're dealing with tribulations, do we? So we're going to do this right now. I'd like you to put your hand on your heart and breathe into something about yourself that you love. Be a talent, it could be something in your life you love. It could be a part of nature that brings you joy, because the love that you feel is inside of you. So we are blossoming just like spring, and focusing on that light is what allows it to ignite. So together we say, I am the light of the world. Together, I am the light of the world. And look at your neighbor and from your illuminated eyes into theirs and say, you are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world. You are the light of the world out there on the web. All right. So everyone on this planet needs to know the light that they are. So again, let's put your hand on your heart and breathe into this wonderful community that loves you while you learn to love yourself. And let's send that out to the community of our world, people that have forgotten who they are or troubled and don't know the answer is within them. And we send that energy out by saying, we are the light of the world. Together, we are the light of the world. And we breathe in. All right, so we're going to stand. We're talking today about not only triumphant entry, your holy, holy life, but that this is truly the road less traveled. So it's a little bit of a long affirmation, but we're going to stand and say, thanks for traveling the road less traveled with me. All right, okay, so stand up, and that's what we say to each other. Oh, that's right. Okay, so we are one way that we totally let our light shine is by the music here at Unity in Chicago. We're so blessed with our musical team, the Peter Polzak Trio and Gretchen Goodrich. Love her so much. Let's give all of them a hand. And today we have a guest that is clearly, by choosing her gift in life, it allows us all to feel a little more triumphant over any challenge we have. So let us welcome Peaches Faison. All right, so give her a hand.
Good morning. I wanted to thank you guys so much for the last time I came. And I spoke it earlier, and I really meant it from my heart. I floated all week. I could feel the love. I only have one gift, and that's the gift of song. That's what gives me peace. And I thought about, as Rev Heidi said, this is Holy Week. And as Jesus came into Jerusalem, they threw the palms down, and they were like, oh, Hosanna, Son of David, Rabbi. Why the Sadducees and the Pharisees were over the side going, rebel. Who is this? Don't disturb my peace, and definitely don't disturb my finances with the Romans. He's got to go. So if you ever been in a place where people have praised you and lifted you up, and when you weren't exactly what they wanted you to be, piece by piece, they tore you down. You can be high and riding high on a Sunday, but by Thursday night, you'll be in the Garden of Gethsemane saying, as I lay me down, heaven hear me now, I'm lost without a cause, after giving it my all. Winter storms have come, darkening my sun. And after all that I've been through, who on earth can I look to? I say, I look to you. I look to you. When all my strength is gone, and you I can be strong. I look to you. I look to you. And when the melodies are gone, and I hear a song, I look to you. To lose my breath, there's no more fighting left, searching to rise no more, looking for an open door, and every road I've turned to has led to my regret. Lord, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I can just lift my head. I look to you. I look to you. When all my strength is gone, and you I can be strong. I look to you. Melodies are gone, and you I can't go on. I look to you. The levees are broken, walls have come tumbling down on me. Where the rain keeps falling, defeat is calling. I need you to set me free, take me far away from the battle. Need you to shine on me. I look to you. I look to you. When all my strength is gone, well, you, I hear a song. I look to you. I look to you. When the melody's gone, you, I can be strong. I look to you. Yeah, yeah. Namaste.
Peaches, I'm sure glad you're using that one gift. Peaches phase on. Let's give her another hand. Yes. Beautiful. So, yeah. So is that what the spiritual path has felt like for you? People saying, I'm looking to you. I'm looking to you. What's your gift? You're the one that's helping the world wake up. And like I say, no pressure. It's really different than how I was raised. That in this consciousness that Jesus brought, and many spiritual teachers brought, they never said, this is mine only. This is mine, I got it figured out, good luck. No one said that. They said, these and greater things shall you do. And so, Peaches, thank you so much for the song of that I look to you, because I'll say that my experience of religion growing up was that we looked to this guy on a wall, or we looked to God in the sky. Usually it was a male. Well, okay, how do I fit into that? I'm not a guy, I'm not hanging on the wall, and I'm not in a cloud. And so it was this feeling of certainly nobody looking to me. We were looking away. We were looking out. And there was a feeling for me of a lot of emptiness and not a sense of empowerment or connection. I know, she's like, I got it going on. So, and I'd like to say, thank you for that, little godlet over there, that when you were young, when you were born, you knew this about yourself. You didn't know you knew, but you knew, you experienced a sense of beingness that may have been forgotten today. That's why when you see a baby, and if you have a child, and I came over and glanced into the crib before I said hello, I do that because I'm so drawn to remember that energy of freedom, of authenticity, of what I want to call nakedness. He's coming. He may be coming. I always say in my radio show that's called Let's Get Naked, Revealing Your Authentic Self, I asked the question, was anyone not born naked? Right? Because if anybody yet can tell me they were, that would be a weird interview. But the thing is that we aren't born with all these masks. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm this. I'm that. We're born with, hey, somebody better show up and celebrate me. We're like, yeah, you better look to me. I got a lot going on over here. And then things happen that we're told everything but the truth. And so this idea of really being God in action and spirit expressing in a resurrected soul, which is what we've been being with for the last 5 weeks through our book, Spiritual Power Tools, is really a bizarre feeling. And that's why we come together in our in-home groups. And I don't know if you've been in a group or even with two going through these tools. Because when we come together, we realize none of us have it all figured out, but we figure it out together. We can relate to that feeling of being in our intellect more than our intuition. We can relate to the feeling of being the iceberg. There's a lot of things about myself I know, but there's a lot more about myself that I don't know. And so we awaken when we come together. So if we're looking for how do we find wholeness and holiness, it's by coming together and having these conversations. So we talk about today is Holy Week. It's the beginning of Holy Week. It's the beginning of the last week of Jesus' life. And if you see Jesus as a person that was on the planet, that's fine. If you see Jesus as a teacher or even a metaphor for a powerful, powerful teaching that people are still talking about, lots of people are still talking about, we know it's significant what he was teaching and what he was living, more importantly. And so this was the day, Palm Sunday, that he came into Jerusalem. Jerusalem metaphorically means homecoming. In fact, it means, and my notes that sometimes I bring up here, it means the dwelling place of peace and wholeness. So I'd like to invite you to recognize that Jerusalem could be your Jerusalem, a place of peace and wholeness. I hope you go to many places that feel like Jerusalem. But the idea of his entering triumphantly was after 40 days and 40 nights of silence, of being out in the wilderness, and being able to be so clear about who he was, that this entry was not about doubt, worry, and fear. It was about our daily word that is, God's name is I am. Can we just say I am together? I am, all right, okay. Can you disagree with anything about that? Shall we say it again? I am. One more time. I am. And so there's a feeling of aliveness just in those two words, because that's really the whole story. And when we live from the place of knowing the truth of who we are, it's amazing. But I would like to tell you, and I say this probably every Sunday because I have to say it to myself all the time, who you are is not going to fit in, right? I mean, there's no one ever again that will be exactly like you, ever. So that you were supposed to go along and be like anybody else is bizarre, right? It's probably the greatest lie that any of us have ever been told. So that's why I want to call this the road less traveled. And not only is it a triumphant entry that we're talking about today, we're talking about a road less traveled. Now, I found another one of my favorite quotes. It's about the head, shaking the head, that if people don't occasionally walk away from you shaking their head, you're doing something wrong. Okay? Okay? Yeah. So, you belong, right? Okay. Right. Because I know, as I'll talk about in a moment, when I decided to get sober, stop drinking, everyone in my life, I didn't know a person that didn't drink alcohol. So there was a lot of, you're going to do what? More like this, you're going to do what? And when I decided to move to Italy, when I knew the word arrivederci and cappuccino, people were like, and when I decided to move to Hawaii, people were, I decided to be a minister, many people were, right? Therapist. My father actually said to me, are people going to pay you to talk about their feelings? It's like, they do. I've been doing it for years. Right. So, have people been shaking their head at you for a while? Right? And do we react to that? Right? Because many of us, until we really understand what really triumphant really means, we could be affected by that. We can be affected by people just looking at us without that expression on their face, and we can interpret it as something's wrong with me. That this person knows more what's right for me than I know, which is never the truth. But boy, does that happen all the time. I told you my ex-boss was a very low-key guy, and I'm not so low-key. And I'd go in and start talking to him, and he wouldn't ever. So I'd go, okay, A, you like what I say. B, you're mad at me. C, you ate something weird last night. D, you don't know what I'm talking about. Because I could never tell what he was thinking. But I just started having fun with it because the first thing I always thought was, he doesn't like what I'm saying, right? So triumphant in our world of spirituality is really overcoming what feels like tribulation. All right, so let's look at these three things that I think the holy path is about. Is tribulation, triumphant, and then transcendence. Now, I don't know about you, but I want to be transcendent, like all the time, right? I mean, I don't want to let things bother me. I don't want to be concerned about the traffic or people that aren't happy or challenges with the building. I don't want to deal with it. Wake me up when it's all over, right? That was last week. Still not over that one. All right. So, but the thing is that triumphant comes from dealing with tribulation. Anybody here never had a problem, or right? Because, Jesus actually said, he said, in this world you'll have trouble, but take heart. I've overcome the world. And so I'd like for us to reflect that this entry into Jerusalem, into our home, into our sense of well-being, is always going to be dealing with a sense of tribulation and how to deal with it, how to be greater than it rather than to let it take over. All right, yes. So the thing is that I had this wonderful thought about tribulation. Oh, yes, okay. So when the thing is that when I used to counsel people a lot, that people would come in with a challenge. You know, this is going on, I'm getting divorced, or my business is not going well, and it seemed very alive for them, right? They weren't feeling triumphant over it. So what I'd always say to them, I'd say, tell me about another problem you had years ago. And they'd usually tell me, and then I'd say, so tell me, how did you deal with that? How did you heal that? What tools did you use? Who supported you? What did you do? What did you read? Where did you go to find that higher level of consciousness within you? And then they'd tell me, and I'd say, great, all those things, use it for this problem, right? All that energy, all that wisdom is in you. That's your spirit. That's your triumphant nature. So I want to talk about triumphant today because I think it's a fabulous word for spirituality, but I think it also can be really confusing the things over which we are triumphing, all right? So I'm sure that's not a word, Diane, but anyway. Okay, so let's, but at least I didn't dangle a participle. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's see here. I know Diane and my mother always go, oh, grammar. Okay, so let's look at the triumphing. Okay, so triumphant is a really interesting experience because it forces you to look at the things that you don't want to look at. It forces you to look at the ways that you have held back in life. And if Jesus was about anything, he was, you have it in you. The lady that's on his coat and saying, just touch my garment, I'm going to touch your garment and I'm going to be well. And he says, your faith makes you well, right? I look to you to have that awakening. So we need to release this addiction to need others' approval or this fear of being rejected, all right? Like I said, if people aren't shaking their heads, you haven't quite mastered your authenticity yet. So now here's Jesus coming in. His story is he's coming in. He has a message, right? He's coming into Jerusalem, this place that is home. But there's people there that like him. There's people there that don't like him. There's people there that get the message. There's people here that don't get the message and are very angry at him and, in fact, don't even want him to be on the planet. So he had to work with this. Anybody else have a challenge when you think people aren't going to approve or that you're going to get rejected? It's the biggest way we get shut down. My spouse isn't going to like this, or my parents aren't going to like this, or I've got this issue that I've had for so many years. And I'm sort of, well, do you want to do the healing with it? This is the thing that when we had the iceberg conversation in our group, siblings came up. Ooh, right? Well, I haven't talked to this woman in 4, 5, 6 years. It's like, okay, so let's talk about where the pain is. Let's talk about where we get to be beyond that and be in compassion. So the next thing is the story of being alone. Okay, now I've got to tell you all, this is a Palm Sunday story that I've shared a few times, but to me, I can't have a Palm Sunday and not remember it because I was having a triumphant entry, but I didn't quite know what was happening yet. And on Palm Sunday in 1983, I woke up and there were pipes above my head. And I realized a couple of things. I wasn't home. I wasn't in my own bed. I looked down, I was on a top bunk, which was pretty scary since I didn't know how I got there. And I looked down, and there was a lady laying beneath me that had on cowboy boots. So I realized I was still in Texas. Okay, so that's good. It also occurred to me that it was Palm Sunday, and I probably wasn't going to make it to church. Because I went to church as that stamp of approval. I didn't go there like I come to Unity to really learn who I am. And I will tell you, the first thought was not that triumphant over my tribulation. It was, I don't think the police like me. I am always getting in trouble with the police. Okay, not very triumphant. Also, my friend Gretchen, who always talked me into driving, she had talked me into driving. And so all of these ideas that were not anything about what was really going on, which was that I was suffering with alcoholism. And I'd come to a place in my life, and perhaps you all are there right now in some situation where I didn't know how to live with alcohol and I didn't know how to live without it. And maybe you're in a situation that may not feel that great, but I don't know how to be in this job, and I don't know how to be out of it. I don't know how to be in this relationship, and I don't know how to be out of it. And it's that place where you feel so stuck. But Spirit is always happening within you. And there is a triumph that is waiting to happen for your tribulation every single time. And let's just go to our affirmations so we can at least say this as we're looking at this. Okay, so it says, I triumph over tribulation and live a life of transcendence. All right, so let's say it together. I triumph over tribulation and live a life of transcendence. Okay, so but because I had never been told I look to you ever, and clearly I didn't know that divinity within myself, I was really, really stuck and lost, and still to this day, when I look at how I am today, 33 years, is so different than that person that was laying there. And I also say, when I say I was, arrested, it wasn't, last week. I always got to throw that in there. There's all this time, because it's like, wow, she took a shower, but so the idea is that that it took many, many years to keep, showing up at places that I felt, and we'll go back to not being alone. See, I felt really alone, but I had to break that. I had a very loving judge that sent me to a probation program, and the man that was teaching it had 10 years of sobriety. So he was my Jesus at that moment. He had something that I wanted, but I had no idea how to get it. And I didn't realize as Jesus was teaching, I looked to you. I looked to you. And I was not feeling like, well, nobody should have been looking at me at that moment. But that power, that presence that was within me was not happening. But as I saw that man and I felt something that I wanted to have, as many people experience that Christ consciousness, it was that draw to be triumphant over my tribulation. I'll also say that it took being willing to allow other people into my story. Because, most times when we have these tribulations, we don't want to tell anybody. I feel doubtful, I feel worried, I'm embarrassed, I'm ashamed, and I don't want to tell anybody. And, when I moved to Italy, because there was so many people in the 12-step program, and I was 4 years sober, and I moved to Italy, and I kind of forgot that I lived to a small town, and all they had were Italian-speaking meetings. So I go to these meetings, and everybody's smoking. They go on from an hour's up. They don't care, right? They keep going. But the point was, I was in such a challenge that I wrote the Loners and Internationalists group. And I would get letters from all over the world. I'm in India, I'm getting sober, sitting on a mountain. I'm like, oh my God, Patel is writing me, right? And and I'm writing back. And I realized this whole thing, I was never alone, ever alone. In fact, I started using, Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm sorry to say, as kind of my travel agency. I'd show up, where's the meetings? Anybody have lunch? Have a place to sleep? It was just amazing to see how this story of not being able to triumph over my tribulation was such a lie. So I had to, again, allow myself to be rejected by people that drank. Secondly, I had to know I was so not alone, and you are so not alone, whatever you're going through. And then finally, I had to really let fear, release the need for fear to stop me. Jesus and all of his enlightened consciousness, and we don't know where he was from about 12 to 30, right? But we know he was steeping himself in awareness, in consciousness, because when he came out, and he was absolutely heading into the place where he knew, let's not say he knew, that he was there to leave his message, and that his body was probably going to end up being surrendered at some point, but his message would carry on. But the need for fear to stop you. So he's Garden of Gethsemane, and he says, oh my gosh, I'm afraid. I'm having a lot of doubt, and take this cup from me. I don't want to drink this poison. It sounded like a good idea, but no thanks. Right? God in your omnipresent brain, as Jesus Christ Superstar says. You got to have a better plan than this. And we know how God is. Nope, you got to get sober. Nope, you got to get well. Nope, you've got to heal that wound. Nope, you've got to find work you love. That's what your message is. That's what your mission is. We turn to you. we turn to you. So Jesus, in that moment, he said, thy will, not my will, be done. And he got the message about, it really is truly about the message within you. And then at the end of the day, he was willing to lay down his body. He gathered his friends and he said, this message is now yours. Take, eat, ingest it, drink this liquid of my energy, and then carry on this message. And that's what your friends that pass, you carry on their memory every single time. And this consciousness, 2,000 plus years, powerful consciousness. So we're all here to allow triumph over tribulation. And at the end of the day, and that's why our Good Friday service is so big, because I don't know if I'll get to the place in my life where I'm ready to say, I will just let this body go before it's supposed to let my message go on. But that consciousness, and had he not had that experience of going through crucifixion, we wouldn't be talking about him today. And so I went through the crucifixion, and I can tell you, any addiction, that's really what it is. Addiction is just a cover-up for your fear of letting your light shine every single time. Haven't met anybody, whether it's work or drugs or alcohol or worry or work addiction, or did I already say work addiction? I'm working on that one. Anyway, but the idea is that it's always a fear of letting your light shine every single time. So if Jesus taught us anything, he taught us to let your light shine, no matter what. And what will you find? You will draw to you alcoholics, recovering alcoholics sitting on mountaintops in India. You'll discover all kinds of people that would never have been drawn to you had you not let your light shine, walk down that path. And he said something that I love, that Palm Sunday, because we have to know the universe plots for our good, because it does. Every single time. The person you're sitting next to, somehow the universe puts you all together. So he said, he was walking into Jerusalem, well, he's on the donkey, and he rides in, and the people are saying, blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord, Hosanna in the highest. Maybe somebody said that when you were born. I don't know, I hope so. Blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord. And then the idea is that the Pharisees, the other people that were not happy with this message, said, Jesus, tell them to be quiet, rebuke your disciples, because what they're saying is blasphemous. And he said, if they don't cry out, the stones themselves would cry. If these people are silent, the stones themselves would cry out. Because he got that the message is not about his body, it's not about his personhood, it's a message of resurrection. It's a message of life, it's a message of love. It's a message that is in each and every one of us, and the world looks to you. The world looks to you to do your thing. Let's put up Robert Frost's quote, because it's a good one, and Char says she has it on her refrigerator. It says, 2 roads diverged in a wood, and I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. So, I look to you. So let's breathe into this resurrecting message and let us sing together our thoughts, our prayers, 2 times through. We'll sing it once, 2 verses. We'll breathe into this message of what it is that is wanting to be released and reborn in you, and then our chaplains will come in. So breathe into knowing that your thoughts and the calming of your thoughts and the defining of the divinity of your thoughts are prayers.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know
into the knowingness that the universe looks to you. You, that beautiful baby that was born however many years ago, coming into the world without any masks or disguises or covers or anything that dulled the light that you are. Precious, precious child of God. And you are imbued with gifts and talents and loving what you love, whether it's colors or food or activities. You know what those are. And so triumphing over our tribulation and living in transcendence is simply paying attention to that joy within, the passion that gets stirred, regardless of others' understanding or a feeling of not being part of the old way of living. We don't put new wine in old wineskins. We allow ourselves to walk in this new day. And I invite you during our time of reflection to reflect on skills that you used to resolve a tribulation of your past. What energy, what activities, what people supported you in healing that place of feeling disconnected? Because that is your resurrecting soul. And so let's all breathe into that place of purpose and of wisdom and of knowledge and of courage. And just rest in the music while you rekindle those ideas of thy will, not my will be done. Watching how something greater came through you to heal whatever circumstance you're in. That is your resurrected soul. And so we breathe and we relax into that wisdom right here and right now. Let our heart expand as we anchor in this time of holding that huge space of our own self-care, our own self-awareness. And we feel the gratitude for this man, this Jesus of Nazareth. And as Jesus awakened to his true self, he was called Jesus Christ. And then as he released his body and let this message pour through others, he was then, the consciousness was named Christ Jesus. So I invite you to see yourself as Christ in your name, because that is the awakened soul that you are. And just allow that to be part of your understanding. These and greater things shall you do. Spirit, God, life, consciousness says, I look to you. So knowing that our thoughts are prayers and our consciousness creates a legacy for the next generation, let us sing together our thoughts or prayers twice through, and the second time through our chaplains will come in, and the second time through we can hold hands with people in our community.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
Let's take each other's hands.
Our thoughts are prayers,
Let your heart sing.
and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Listen to what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Reverend Heidi. As we're all on our path to transformation, and we invite you to speak the names of those you would like held in prayer into this sacred space. We hold our beloved community in our hearts and prayers. We hold our minister, Reverend Heidi, our board, our staff, our volunteers into this powerful prayer energy. And we ask that you include the names of those who are asking for prayer on the board behind us. May the peace and oneness bless our brothers and sisters around the world as we hold the high watch as peacemakers. Thank you, God, for prayers already answered, and so it is. Amen. We're your prayer chaplains for today. We'll meet with you around the corner if you seek prayer. I'm Sue Ellen, Michael, Jerry, and Jeff. We'll all be available to pray with you. And please reach out to us and know that your prayers will be held in confidentiality. Blessings. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks. All right, so we're going to now allow triumphance over any kind of sense of lack or limitation in the world. And so we give where we're spiritually fed. Thank you all for being part of a community that's been sustaining and thriving and reaching out to so many people for 25 plus years. So it's a big deal to be part of Unity in Chicago. And thank you for being here. Thank you for letting your abundance grow. It was, through Unity that I actually had a little bit of money. It's like, oh, okay, I'm abundant. I forgot to say that. Now it starts coming. So we stay in the flow. We know that we give out from here, and it comes right back into your lives in amazing ways. If you ever want to be part of Abundant Life, it's our recurring giving program that you just, every month, it comes out of your, whatever, this one of many sources of good on an electronic basis, and then you have a discount here with us. Yes, and so you can give out on our little machine out there, or you can give by check or cash, or just be your presence here is a huge gift. So let's put your hands together, whether there's, as many people give and everybody gives. So just put your hands together because it can remind you of the triumphant energy that's always in there to conquer and resolve and dissolve any tribulation. So when we say our conscious giving blessing, I'd like you to think of yourself as that divine love that is richly flowing. All right, so let's say our conscious giving blessing together. Divine love, richly flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am grateful for the blessings of this day. I am grateful for the blessings on the way. And today is the day. Let's say it together. Today is the day. And we're going to sing today, right now.
Today, while the blossom still clings to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows will all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine today. Well, I'll be a dandy and I'll be a rover. You'll know who I am by the song that I sing. I'll feast at your table, I'll sleep in your clover. Who cares what tomorrow shall bring? Today, while the blossom still clings to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows will all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine today. I can't be contented with yesterday's glory. I can't live on promises, winter to spring. Today is my moment, and now is my story. I'll laugh and I'll cry and I'll sing. Today, while the blossom still clings to the vine, I'll taste your strawberries, I'll drink your sweet wine. A million tomorrows will all pass away, ere I forget all the joy that is mine
That is a picture of
today.
The first picture that comes out. Right. Cool. All right. Thank you, Marilyn. My gosh. Yay. All right. So let's just breathe into this generosity and this gratitude and this inspiration and this place of giving from the overflowing cup. I am generosity in action. Let's just say it. I am generosity in action. Prosperity is my way of life. I triumph over tribulation. And live a life of transcendence. I am rich in every way. Thank you, God, for unity in Chicago. And so it is. All right. Thank you all so much. My gosh. Okay, so we are celebrating Shar Bennington. It always sounds like a movie star that is tithing her time today. So let's give Shar a hand. Yes.
Thank you very much. You have no doubt noticed the stunning flowers that are behind me. They are big and bold and beautiful, not unlike the person who generously donated them. They are given generously by Reverend Heidi Alfrey with much gratitude to Unity in Chicago. That's in Tanzania.
It is,
right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
And so here's her message. On this day of triumphant entry, I want to express my gratitude and awe to all of you that comprise the vortex of light, love, and laughter called Unity in Chicago. As you know, Palm Sunday 1983 was the last time I woke up in the literal jail from the disease of alcoholism, But unity, and especially this community, are who remind me to break the chains of the prison of ego on a daily basis and live in the light of the Spirit. Like the sunflower, there are many in that bouquet. Thank you for always turning to the light. I love you all more than you could ever know. Heidi.
Yay, y'all. Yay.
Thank you for the beautiful flowers and for all that you do. We love you too.
Oh, sure. Thank you. I receive.
So if you would like to donate flowers in May, there are dates in May. And so stop by the Wings to reserve your date to give flowers. And to those of you who are joining us for the first time, we are glad that you've joined us. We hope that you've enjoyed your time here. And we have a small gift that we would love to share with you. So if you're here for the first time, if you'd hold up your hand so we could find you and share our welcome with you. Anybody here for the first time? Okay, excellent.
All right.
Yay.
Welcome.
Along with the carnation you are receiving, we invite you to stop by. There's a welcome zone downstairs on the ground floor in the library. Blue welcome banner, and there's a ton of people with bright pink badges. We'd love to get to know you more. And there's also a free welcome DVD. So thanks for coming. Hope you had a great day. A reminder for all of you, check our website, unitychicago.org, for the latest happenings, and stay in touch through the weekly email. If you're not getting that, let us know. Give your name and your email address at the table that's at the base of the stairs. And then just a couple quick reminders. Carol, our pet ministry leader, is here with today. So she has a beautiful little cat. So be sure to stop by and visit Carol in the gallery to hear more about this sweet, sweet cat that needs a loving, loving home. And remember, pet ministry will pay for if you foster any expenses. And Reverend Patty Pipia will be holding the Good Grief Support Group. Today it's at 1:15 in the Oak Room, offered on a love offering basis. The Chicago Didgeridoo Chorus will be having a spring equinox meditation at 6 p.m. tonight in the sanctuary. So this is offered on a love offering basis. The Resurrected Souls Celebration Potluck Dinner is going to be held this Thursday, March 31st at 7 p.m. Everyone is welcome. Please sign up. Following Thursday, March 31st. Thanks for that clarifying. Hate for people to show up and go, where's the potluck? March 31st, 7 p.m. Sign up in the Friendship Room hallway on the wall. And as Reverend Heidi said this morning, remember, next Sunday is Easter Sunday. We hope to see all of your bright, shining faces, and wear a bonnet, a hat, a pin, a feather, whatever. We just want to see you. And now, let's welcome back the incredibly talented, what a joy, Peaches Faison.
You can overcome anything. You can rise again to your true self. I need a little help, you guys. If everybody can get up and put their hands together for me. I'm really big on audience participation, but especially in the spiritual sense. If you've been persecuted, you can tell the Pharisees and the Sadducees, you are not the boss of me. Hello, Jesus, Jesus' children. Jesus loves you, Jesus' children. Hello, children, Jesus loves you, of America. You know the song, yeah. Are you hearing what he's saying? Are you feeling what you're praying? Are you hearing, praying, feeling what you say inside? Well, you better tell your story fast. Hey, if you lie, it will come
That's a triumphant entry. Woo! My gosh, thank you. Oh, my Lord. My gosh, we got to get some dancing going. I like it. All right, so thank you. Is your heart open? All right, so y'all go on and let your light shine, and we're going to say our affirmation. If we can get it up. It's, so here we go. With the spirit of peaches, I triumph over tribulation and live a life of transcendence. We look to you, no big deal, but it's on you. So let's all stand and sing Weave. And oh, let me just tell you one thing. Sorry, one thing I forgot. Yeah, I know, it's like anticlimactic. If you have anything powerful to say about unity that this place does for you, out in the Sunshine Gallery, Marcin is going to be taking little clips of people to put on Facebook. So we'd love to just hear a little 30-second inspiration, okay? All right, let's weave ourselves out of here. Here we go.